After a night out with her boyfriend, my cheating wife hurried into the home, the front door clicking shut behind her as she carefully turned the lock. She thought I was asleep. I had left the hallway light off on purpose, sitting in the corner of the living room where the shadows swallowed me whole. I could hear her breath, quick and uneven, as if she had run from the car to the door. She was nervous. She always got nervous when she came home late. She clutched her heels in one hand, her phone in the other. The dim light from the screen illuminated her face for just a second, long enough for me to see the way her lips curved slightly, still lost in whatever moment she had just left behind. She was still thinking about him. The thought twisted something inside me, but I didn't move. She stood there in the dark for a moment, listening. I held my breath. She must have convinced herself I was asleep, because she exhaled softly, relieved, and began moving toward the bedroom. She was careful with her steps, placing her bare feet lightly against the floorboards to avoid making a sound. I waited, letting her think she had gotten away with it, just like all the other nights. But tonight was different. I stood up slowly, my movements deliberate. The leather chair creaked slightly, and she froze. I could see her silhouette near the bedroom door, her body tense, her fingers still gripping her shoes too tightly. She turned her head slightly, as if listening, but I said nothing. After a long moment, she shook her head and disappeared into the bedroom. I followed a few seconds later, my feet silent against the floor. She had already slipped under the covers, her back turned to my side of the bed. I could smell the faint traces of cologne that didn't belong to me. It mixed with the scent of wine on her breath, the same expensive red she used to share with me. I stood by the bed for a long time, staring down at her. The rise and fall of her shoulders were too even, too controlled. She was pretending to be asleep. I sat down on the edge of the mattress, my voice quiet but firm. "How was your night?" She didn't move at first. Then, slowly, her body stiffened. Her breathing faltered just slightly, but enough for me to notice. The silence stretched between us, heavy and suffocating. I could hear the soft ticking of the clock on the nightstand, each second dragging out the inevitable. I waited. Finally, she shifted under the covers, her voice barely above a whisper. "It was fine." I let out a breath I hadn't realized I was holding. The lie was so effortless, so casual. If I hadn't known the truth, I might have believed her. But I did know the truth, and she had no idea what was coming next.